Hello everybody and welcome back to my garage 0 to Hero. Alright, so it's Friday morning and yes, it's a beautiful day. It's a little bit cloudy, but I just hope it's not going to rain today. But yes, I just wanted to show off that I got myself a new barbecue grill. So yeah, flipping patties on this beauty is definitely, yeah, it's better than eating microwave dinners. So yes, we are definitely going to be eating a little bit more healthy from now on. But yes, let's open up our garage where we will find our 1969 Chevy Impala, still beautiful as always. Alright, so I decided to leave the old pickup truck at home, or well, at the shop obviously. And yeah, took this beautiful machine of ours, and we're going to be using this thing on a daily basis now, driving from home to work. So let's just pull it out. We're just going to park it here for a second, and just close the door. Alright, and we are going to be jumping into this car and just heading over to our shop. So there's a couple of things that I would like to do today. As you can see by just looking at the thumbnail of the video, today we will be focusing mainly on our own vehicles, meaning yes, it is finally time for us to start working on our ramp truck. And I also want to do a little bit of work to the 70 Chevelle that we got from Hugo, because in the last episode we did the front suspension and we also replaced the firewall. So today we are going to probably do the floor pan, which we definitely need to replace very urgently, because that floor pan is very badly rusted. And then we'll also probably tackle the rear suspension on that car and have a look at what's good and what's bad and what we need to go and pick up. But yes, here we are, just pulling into our shop, and I think we can probably park it here next to the stripped down Dodge Charger TC's car. So yeah, a little bit of an update on that vehicle. We are waiting for all of the parts to get its final coating. So as you guys know, they are being chromed in this ruby red color that TC wants. So we still need to do the firewall and also the floor and the trunk floor. Let's just turn the lights on over here. Alright, so there we go. So yeah, once we can get the other parts like the front fender parts and the radiator assembly back, then we can start cutting the firewall off and such and send those in for the same coating as well. Because I don't really want to strip this thing all the way down just yet, because it's going to become a little bit unstable if we cut every single part of this car. So for that reason I decided to do this in sections. So yeah, that is definitely hopefully going to be something we can finish up next week sometime. But yes, we are here today to work on our ramp truck, which I actually moved the lift from this parking bay over to the longer bay over here, because this ramp truck is quite a bit long and we don't really have space to work on it where the lift was. So I decided to just move the lift over here and actually tested it. It works perfectly, so we should be able to do all of the work we want to do to this truck. There's not really much going on. The rear suspension actually looks still in very good nick. The front suspension though, we need to get the rear axle or the front axle removed and replace a couple of odd parts here and there. We might have some worn brake discs and stuff like that as well to address. So yes, that is part of my plan for today. And then we are also going to strip the cab off, because we already repainted the actual bed itself, the loading ramp, so we can just sort out the cab, get rid of all these rust spots and just clean it up a bit nicely. And then we are going to do a two-tone paint job on this truck. So we're going to go with a cyan for the top half, and we are going to do a white for the bottom half. And then we will also put our shop logo on the doors and maybe on the hood. I'll see what that looks like. It will all depend on what it's going to look like on the hood. So we'll see, because it's a cyan logo as well, but we do have the dark blue ring around it, so it might turn out quite well. So we'll just give it a shot and see what it looks like. But yes, in the garage, of course, we've got our 1970 Chevelle. So yeah, what I've done is just push the car into the garage here. We are going to be doing a couple of things to this as well, as I mentioned. So we might actually start with this floor pan, because I actually lifted the car's rear end up just to see if it's going to work this way. So let's lower this thing down and we'll just close the trunk for now, because we need to try and cut this floor pan out. So I've got no idea how far we need to strip this thing in order to get this off. Our firewall has been replaced already, so it's probably going to be quite easy for us to do that. And then we've got some new goodies on the table, new wiper linkage, new pedals, new steering column, and wiper blades, obviously, and a battery. And yeah, this steering wheel actually came off Richard's 70s Challenger that we worked on for him. So we're going to be using that steering wheel in this car. And then also, these are the wheels that's going to go on the car eventually once we are done with the paint work on it. So yeah, we might actually get a very nice looking car here eventually once we can get this thing sorted out. The engine bay, we did install the engine from TC's Dodge Charger, so this engine should be running perfectly. We still need to do the oil and also the fluids in the radiator, because the radiator is still empty. There's a tiny bit of coolant, but the brake booster, the brake fluid still seems fine, so that is quite fine. We're not going to bother with that then. So yeah, that is basically just a matter of getting this floor pan cut out, because we already got the replacement part here. So that is going in, and we might have to run to the shop a bit later on and just grab a new frame rail. So we are going to cut the frame rail off as well once we have the whole rear suspension removed, and just see if that one is still good enough or if we're going to have to replace it as well. And then yeah, obviously the whole rear axle is coming out, so we'll replace the axle itself. Alright, but now we need to try and figure out how to get this floor pan removed. So I think let's unbolt all of the parts attached to it. So we've got our gear stick. Let's just rip this out for now. And we've got an odd seat on this side. I don't know why they put this seat in the car. It was probably the only seat they had left laying around. So we're just gonna put this over here for now. It actually looks like it's a brand new seat, but it's definitely the wrong seat for the car. Probably have to go around to the other side for the passenger seat. We'll just unbolt this as well. And that should clear up the floor. Make sure everything is removed from the floor pan. We might have to actually, come to think of it, remove the transmission support, but we'll see. Maybe that is a separate part we can cut off, so let's just leave it be for now. Alright, so let's grab the plasma cutter. And I think let's start on this side. Alright, so obvious welds for the floor would be the ones at the back over here. And us standing on top of the floor actually puts a little bit of weight on it, so it should actually drop down once we have the cuts all loose. Alright, so let's just keep cutting. And then I think the last one is just this one. And there we go, there's our floor pan. Alright, so you can get this out of here. And we'll just chuck it in the back of our truck. Or maybe not, because we're going to use the truck a bit later to go and pick up some parts. Alright, so our floor pan is out. Now we're just going to grab the new one. And we're just going to put it into position like that. And we're going to need our welding machine over here. Right, so let's just put it nice and close here. And let's just put this back onto the plasma cutter as well. Right, we're going to grab our welder. And now we're just going to weld up all of these bits and pieces over here. All these welding spots we cut off. Alright, yeah, there's quite a lot of welds. Okay, and then one's back here. Alright, just like that, I think our floor pan is now officially installed. I just noticed we are missing a dashboard over here. So we are going to get not a dashboard, a glove box as well for the dashboard. Just to finish that part off as well. Alright, let's put our welder back there for now. We are done with it. And we can just put this on the table over there out of the way. Alright, so now in order to make this car drive, we're going to have to probably remount the driver's seat we had in, as well as the gear stick over here, because I want to see if this thing's going to move on its own power today. It'll be good to see. There we go, there's our gear stick back into place. Just bolted down over there. Alright, driver's seat. Alright, let's just bolt this down for now. We're not going to mount the passenger seat, because it's not necessary. Alright, so there we go. That is just our temporary driver's seat. Alright, let's get our steering column here. Yeah, there's a little bit of a too little space in this garage with the engine stand over here. Alright, so there's our steering column. Let's just bolt it down. There are 3 bolts total on this. There we go. That's the third one. We'll grab the steering wheel. I'm just going to mount it just like that. Alright, for next part of the operation, we need to get the hood open for the wiper motor. Actually, just forgot about the pedals. We'll go and pop the pedals in a moment. Right, let's grab the pedals. And just see where these need to mount. I think it's all the way up there. Around about there. And just the 2 bolts on those. Alright, and there's the second bolt. There we go. Alright, so the pedals are back in. And let's grab our wiper linkage. So this is usually a bit easier to do from the inside of the car, but we're just going to wing it today. There we go. Alright, let's get our hood closed up, because now we need to mount these wipers. Or actually we should open the hood. It's going to be a bit easier to work here. Alright, so some cars you need to close the hood, some cars you need to keep the hood open. Alright, so let's grab the other one as well. And there we go, that is nice and tight. Alright, perfect. Let's grab our battery. I'm just going to pop the battery in. And we'll just bolt it down. Perfect. Alright, and then last but not least, we've got this taillight from the junkyard. I actually wanted to mount this in the last episode already, but I forgot about it. So we're just going to pop the hood and put that in. Alright, and we're going to secure it with the 2 screws over there. It's just a little bit hard to get to the screws on this side. There we go. Let's just see. Okay, we've got it. Alright, so this car technically should be able to fire up if we have got gas in the tank. Yes, so I'm not sure if this is going to work, but let's give it a swing. We do have a little bit of oil. We don't have coolant yet. Alright, so let's start it up. Obviously I forgot the fuel line once again, which is a very important piece of the puzzle. Alright, so let's just grab our fuel line. And we don't have exhaust yet, so we'll probably also pick that up a bit later when we head over to the shop. Alright, and we're going to come around this side. Let's just try this again. Alright, the only thing I can think of is we don't have any gas in the tank. Seems to be completely empty. So we should just grab a jerry can and go and pick up some gasoline. See if this thing's going to fire up. But we're not going to do that immediately. I think let's start stripping the rear suspension, because that would mean the car won't be able to drive. But at least if we can fire it up, then I'll be happy. And I'll know at least it's going to be running and driving if we get the suspension put back together. So if we get all the parts today, we should be able to do that as well. So I think let's do this the quick way, like I would always say, is remove the whole suspension. Right, so we're just going to remove the shock absorbers, which are actually, that one is brand new still. Alright, so those are the 2 rear shock absorbers, and they both seem to be brand new actually. So it looks like they were replaced. Alright, and let's get over here. We're going to undo the 4 bolts on the leaf spring on that side. Let's just get our drive shaft off as well. From there. Alright, there should be another bolt over there. Alright, and then we're going to undo these. Alright, and the 2 brake lines, and that is our rear suspension free from the car. So now we can basically just take all of these parts off. So I think let's start by removing the 2 wheels. Nice and simple. Alright, let's grab this side wheel. Alright, so those are the 2 old wheels. Now let's get the caliper removed from this side. Alright, so there's our caliper. Caliper seems to be brand new. And let's just check this caliper as well. Alright, so once again, this caliper is also brand new, so it looks like it has been replaced already. Alright, so this side we don't have a brake disc on, so we can just go ahead and remove the hub from here. It also looks like quite a decent hub. Yeah, it's not too bad, but we'll rather replace it because it's about halfway gone. Alright, and then handbrake cable is shot. We can clearly see that. Let's have a look at this differential. Alright, the differential also looks very good. Let's just check it out. Alright, so this is a 3.8 locked differential and it's still also brand new. We can see the hub on this side is bad. The brake disc is looking very thin. So yeah, there's no more parts we need to strip off of this. So let's go ahead and just pop this in the back of our truck for now, because we are going to go and pick up a new one. And I actually might have to take all of the old parts over to Steve's as well quickly, because we are going to be out and about. So yeah, all of the good parts over here, we're going to reuse those. So we just need to get our axle with the 2 hubs and 2 new brake discs for the rear axle. I did actually check the drive shaft already. The drive shaft is also perfect, so we can definitely reuse the drive shaft. So if we can get all of these parts, then we can at least get this car back down on its wheels. But let's just also check our leaf springs, because I haven't checked these yet. But yeah, that one is about not too bad. This one also needs to come off. Alright, let's see. Alright, so this leaf spring is still quite good. So the one on the one side is a bit worn, and we've got the lowered springs over here. What is this? This is a front leaf spring for the pickup truck. Okay, so that's not going to work. Alright, so we need one more leaf spring. So we're just going to go and put this in this truck as well. We're going to get a leaf spring for that side as well. Alright, so now what I want to do is grab the plasma cutter once again. Alright, so yeah, let's just put that over there. Alright, so we're just going to cut those frame rails off. I think let's start with the one that looks good. I'm not sure if it is good. We can probably also check our shock mount, or yeah, this middle piece, middle frame brace. Yeah, might as well go get a new one of those as well while we are at it. Right, so let's cut it off over there, and then these two. And there's probably one weld back here that I missed somewhere over there. Oh, of course it's on the wheel tubs. Alright, so this frame rail, yeah, we might as well just replace it. So we'll do both of them. And let's also cut this frame rail off. Alright, so yeah, that weld, this one and there, and then obviously I think we've got them all. Alright, so there's our frame rail that's rusty. So let's just move these parts over to the truck as well. We're just gonna dump it in the back. Alright, so there's the frame rail. Let's go and grab the other frame rail. So we need both frame rails. Alright, very good. And then we'll also get a new one of these middle frame braces. No, this one isn't terrible, but we can just rather replace it along with the second-hand frame rail that we've got here. So that is everything stripped off for the Chevelle at the moment. So I don't think there's anything else we need to take off at the moment. I think if we just get those parts, we'll be able to put this thing back together. Alright, so let's go over to our pickup truck outside. Well, not really the pickup truck, the ramp truck. We're going to start working on that. But before we do, I think let's do this. We're going to just rinse down the 2 fenders as well as the hood here. Because obviously they came from the junkyard and they were quite dirty. Alright, and also this front bumper is a bit dirty, as well as the grille is also still dirty. So we're just going to clean that up nicely. And get a pretty good idea of what the paintwork looks like. Yeah, it doesn't look half bad. Alright, yeah, this fender actually looks very good. Seems to be no rust on it. But however, on the hood we've got quite a bit of rust here. But that's not a problem. We've got our sandblaster, and I also have got some bags of sand left. So we can still get that sandblasted as well. We take the headlight off, or the headlight grill as well, and then the hood. We'll get those parts sandblasted, and then obviously the rest of the body we need to just double check everything. There's obviously going to be some odd rust spots here and there. I think even on the trunk there's some rust over there, or maybe on the trunk mount it's a bit rusty there, but yeah, in general this car isn't that bad. It's really not too bad, so we'll get it sorted out. Alright, so I'm just gathering all of my tools because I want to go and strip the ramp truck a bit. We are going to strip the front axle off because that axle is definitely bad. And we also want to remove the cab so we can start stripping the cab, taking everything off. Alright, so let's have a look here. We've got front shock absorbers. It's probably going to be a bit hard to do it from down there. So let's get the wheels off first of all. So I think if we take the wheels off, we're going to be able to see a little bit better what's going on behind here. Right, so there's our first heavy duty wheel. Yeah, these actually need to get a paint job, but yeah, I might actually send these wheels in for chroming. I think the chrome wheels would actually look nice on this truck with our color scheme that we are going for. Might actually get some new tires as well. If these are a bit bad, we'll just make sure those tires aren't too bad. Alright, so let's continue with this front suspension teardown. We're gonna remove the front shock absorbers. Alright, or they're just going to drop down by themselves. Alright, so there's the one. Yeah, we're gonna replace that one for sure. Alright, let's have a look over this side. Right, and let's take off this shock over here. And how's this one doing? Yeah, it's a little bit better than the opposite side one, so it's not too bad. Right, and let's take off the steering arm. I think, what is this called? I can't really remember. I know this one is the tie rod at the bottom. So this is in fact the steering link, which we need to swap with a new one. And then we'll take the tie rod off as well. I want to see what the tie rod is like. Right, and yeah, tie rod is actually still good. We can reuse that. Alright, let's take the caliper off on this side. Let's just get behind here. Here we go. Right, caliper. Yeah, this caliper has definitely seen some better days. And I can basically say the same about this brake disc. So let's get the hub off removed from this heavy duty hub. Yeah, it's actually not half bad. We can still use this hub. Not too bad at all. Alright, we're gonna need our screwdriver. Let's just get our screwdriver. Alright, let's take this brake disc off, which is probably quite a bit worn. Yes, it is. So we'll just chuck it down there. Let's leave the screwdriver on the floor for now. Let's check our hub. Yeah, hub is still good. Right, let's get this steering knuckle removed, or the hub carrier, as you guys may know it. The hub carrier on this side is also good. We can reuse that. And we've got a half axle, which is also decent, so I'm going to reuse that. Right, so that is everything on this side for the front suspension. So let's just go ahead and undo the 4 bolts for the leaf spring as well. Right, on this side, brake hose. Yeah, the brake hose is definitely shot. Caliper, let's go and have a look at it quickly over here. Alright, so the caliper isn't too bad on that side, so we'll reuse this caliper. It's going to save a bit of money if we can use old parts. Let's also just pop out the brake discs now that we've got the pads, rather. That both the calipers are out, so let's pop these pads out as well. Let's see what the condition of these. Alright, well, looks like we are going to buy a set of brake pads. Alright, let's check these ones as well. Yeah, they aren't so great anymore. That one isn't too bad. So we've got, yeah, 2 decent pads out of the 2. But Yeah, sadly we can only buy a box of 4, so we're just gonna have to replace all of the front brake pads, so that is not a big problem. Alright, let's continue on this side. We're gonna take this heavy duty hub off as well. The hub, not the hob. There we go, there's the hub. Alright, that hub is still decent, we can reuse it. And then, yeah, let's undo the steering knuckle here. Alright, so this steering knuckle, aka hub carrier, still looks good. Let's check our hub. Alright, that hub is still decent. Brake disc, however, is a bit on the thin side. There we go. Alright, so that is loose, so we'll get 2 new brake discs as well. Alright, so there's our front hub carrier. Front hub still looks good. We can go ahead and just put that back on. Alright, let's get it bolted down again, and we'll just do the same for the opposite side. But now, where did I put the hub for that? Is that hub? There's the hub. Alright, so there's the hub and the hub carrier. So let's put that together again. Alright, so there's the 2 front hubs, or the hub carriers, so they are good. So those just need brake discs, shock absorbers we need to get. So let's make a quick list in our, or a mental note on what we need to get. So that's everything we need. And then this caliper over here is quite bad, so let's just check the hose. Right, the hose isn't too bad. That one's hose was bad, but yeah, we're gonna pop this hose onto that caliper then. Alright, so that way we've got our decent caliper here, and we've got our 2 heavy duty hubs that are still good. We've got our hub carriers, and just one more thing we need to check, this half axle, which is decent, and that one is also still good. Alright, so let's just come and remove the drive shaft over here from the transfer box. Alright, so there's our drive shaft. And drive shaft, might as well also do it because we took it off now. Alright, and then on this side, let's undo the 4 bolts on this axle and get this axle removed. Alright, so there we go. There's all of the parts we need to go and pick up for this Ram truck of ours. It's actually not that bad. I actually expected a bit worse. So we've got our front axle, the drive shaft, the 2 shocks, and then the steering link, and 2 brake discs, and the shocks. So it's really not that bad, actually. Alright, but upon further inspection, I don't see anything really calling out to me. We can probably check the rear brakes. So let's get these rear wheels removed. Right, so there's the first wheel. This is the brand new wheel that I actually bought because we were missing a wheel on this truck when we first got it. Alright, we're going to remove this wheel as well. Try and not unbolt the incorrect nuts over here. Okay, so there we go. That's our second wheel. Still looks decent. Can't really tell how bad the tires are on that, but we're going to undo this brake hose. Yeah, that brake line is still good. Let's just put it back. Alright, let's quickly check this hub below this thing. Our heavy duty hub can come off. Alright, so the heavy duty hub is still good. Let's check this brake hub, or this wheel hub itself. Alright, there it goes. Alright, this hub still looks decent, so yeah, I'm getting a very good idea about this rear suspension, that it's not that bad. Alright, so let's bolt up there once again. And how's our brake drum? Wait a second. Yeah, of course, there's no brake drum on this thing. So the brake drum is missing completely. So that is a bit of a worry. So we'll just remove the screw from there, and then we're going to grab our pry tool. Alright, pry tool, let's pry off those brake shoes. Just want to see how good they are. Would you stop moving? Okay. Alright, brake shoe, that one is still fine. That one is still very good as well. Alright, so we don't have to do brake shoes, but we definitely need a brake drum. But considering the brake drum wasn't installed, we never really had any problem with the brake pads or the brake shoes wearing off on that side. Alright, so let's get this wheel off on this corner and see what surprise lurks behind here for us. Alright, so there's our wheel. And yet again, I can see we've got no disc on or brake drum on this wheel as well. So yeah, I think it's a good thing we are starting to have a look at these things. Alright, so this brake hose needs to be replaced. Yeah, that is bad. Alright, let's get this hub removed, or the hub extension for the heavy duty wheels to mount to. How's that doing? Still very good. Alright, so this wheel hub that we took off is also still good, so let's just go ahead and put that back on. I can see that the handbrake cable is looking very good, so we're not going to bother with that. Let's just check our shock absorbers, because this is one of the most important parts back here. Alright, so that one is good. And let's check this one as well quickly. Yeah, this shock absorber is also still good, so let's just put that back as well. Alright, perfect. So we checked basically everything on the truck suspension. So what I want to do now is probably lower it down a bit, because we need to pull the cap off of this thing. So let's go down. I think that is far enough. Right, in order to take the cap off, we're going to undo the main brake line over there. We're going to unbolt the cab, the 4 bolts on it over there. Alright, so there's 2 more on this side. And then, there we go, that is our cab now free. And let's just drop it down. Alright, so with our hood open here, let's just go ahead and remove this, because it's going to make it a little bit top heavy. Might actually tip forward if we don't do something about this. Alright, but there's our rusty old hood. We can definitely sandblast that a bit. Alright, and I'm actually curious to see how good the interior bits are on this thing. Alright, so we're going to start with this door over here. We've got our door card, which we probably need to replace. And I was thinking, since we are painting this thing cyan and white, we should actually get a full white interior for the truck. It might actually suit it very nice if we decide to go with the white interior with the current paint job that I have in mind. So that is something to also consider. And the window winder still looks good, so that should still work. Alright, but let's come over to this side. And we're just going to pop this door panel off here as well. And let's do the window winder on this side. We're going to remove the whole assembly. Alright, so it looks like it still works, I think. Let's just see. Yeah, it does, but it's definitely on its last legs. We might have to replace it. Alright, seeing as we are going to be stripping everything off, we don't need to strip everything off. We're just going to basically sandblast the whole cab together. Alright, I just accidentally pushed the cab because I forgot it wasn't mounted to anything. So it's very light and easy to move like this. Alright, so there's our bench seat, which we'll have to replace. And we'll just take the cab off of the carpet. Yeah, this carpet is still good. We can reuse that. Alright, perfect. And let's have a look further on the interior. We've got our gear stick over here. Let's get this off. Yeah, this gear stick looks good, but we're going to swap it with some white interior parts. I think it'll make this truck look very interesting with the cyan paint job and the white accent on the interior. The pedals aren't so good, so we're going to replace those. Steering column. Right, so there's the steering column. It's actually not bad. I would reuse that. Yeah, definitely. Let's just undo the steering wheel. Yeah, steering wheel is bad. We're gonna get a new steering wheel. I think we could actually do something custom as well for this interior. on the steering wheel. We might get a white steering wheel of some sort. Alright, but we are going to bolt the steering column back in. And let's remove this brake booster. Alright, so this is actually very good still. We're gonna just put it back on. Alright, we'll just be careful with the sandblaster so we don't damage anything like that. Alright, but there we go. Brake booster is back in. Let's check our wiper motor. Alright, so the wiper motor is still good. We're just going to go ahead and put it back. Alright, so for the rest of the parts on this cab, we're going to have to probably mostly pry all of them off. So let's just get ourselves a pry tool, which I actually left somewhere over here. Alright, let's also grab the screwdriver because we're going to need it for the dashboard. Alright, so let's see all of these pieces of trim. Can probably pop them off and check them each individually. Yeah, I wouldn't say it's bad, it's just a little bit worn. Yeah, definitely they are very good still, actually, considering the age of the truck and the looks of the whole body on this thing. Windshield is good. We can reuse the windshield for sure. Alright, let's pop this rear glass out. Alright, so the windshield, rear glass and the door glass is all intact, which is a good thing. Let's just check if our little mirror on the door is actually also still good. If I'm not mistaken, no, wait a second, we did swap these mirrors out with another vehicle. I think the blue and or the white and green truck that actually belongs to Minty now. I think that is where those mirrors came from. Our dashboard actually looks surprisingly good. I might actually just get this recovered, but we're just going to check this glove box. Alright, let's see how this is doing. Yeah, also not too bad. Right, let's get that bolted back on. Right, here's the pry tool. Let's pry this cluster out quickly. So I think the cluster is broken, so we'll definitely have to replace the cluster. Alright, so this dashboard is still good, but we are going to swap it out with a white dashboard, obviously, because I want to go white theme on the dashboard on the inside. Alright, so the stereo switch still works, so we're not going to replace that. That is still decent. We can reuse it. Alright, and I was still busy removing pieces of trim. So let's grab all of these pieces of trim. Yeah, that one is a bit far gone. And then this one isn't too bad. Could probably reuse that piece of trim. And then we're going to just remove this upper trim. Alright, so the front right cab trim actually looks very good. It's almost brand new still. And we've got this light bar also that came off of our other white and green truck that we sold to Minties, so that is still kind of fresh. Alright, but now we need our wrench again because we need to get those mirrors removed. So usually they are removable with a screwdriver, but in this case these ones have got some bolts, and we're just going to unbolt all of them. And there's our door mirror for this side. Still looks very good, almost brand new. And then same on this one, we're gonna just undo this mirror. Alright, and there's our second mirror, also very good still. It's basically still brand new, so we don't have to bother with new ones of those. I'm quite happy with that. Alright, let's see what else we can take off here. We've got the headliner. Alright, let's grab our screwdriver for that. So we need to take that mirror off. Alright, so let's quickly just lean in here. We're going to undo the screws on this rear view mirror. And that should also free up the headliner. And we can inspect this. Alright, so this headliner is still very good. Don't know what the condition are of the sun visors. But as for our hood over here, now that we've got our screwdriver, I just remembered we need to take off this bug deflector with it. Alright, so that should pop off. There we go. So there's our bug deflector, still brand new, still actually looks very good. And then we're also going to pop off these Ford badges, or the Ford badge in the front of the hood. And those are still very good. And as for the hood, yeah, definitely seen some better days, but nothing a little bit of sandblasting can't fix. So we're going to definitely sandblast that. And then having a look at around this thing, there's not really much left for us to strip off. We've got our wiper linkage, probably we can do. And let's just make sure this doesn't get lost. Alright, so let's see where this wiper linkage comes off. I think it's probably just over there. And also this one. Alright, so there's our old wiper linkage. Yeah, we might as well just replace it. Wiper blades also don't look too great. The one on that side is actually a chromed one, which is quite interesting, but okay. Alright, so there we go. We've stripped on basically the whole cab now. There's nothing attached to this thing except for some rust and panels that we don't really need to bother with, because we're not going to be painting here, because this is part of the firewall, so we're not going to bother with removing that. We also still have got our steering column and our handbrake lever mounted. Alright, but yes, looking at this actual cab, the floor of the cab, it looks quite a bit worn, so we might actually just replace the cab floor. So what I'm probably going to do is only continue with work on this thing next week, because I obviously need to order a bunch of parts for this in order to get that fixed up. As far as we cut this thing apart, I'm not sure if it's going to be that easy, or if there are going to be some hiccups or maybe even some struggles. So I think let's maybe also remove the fenders from the truck and the front bumper and all of these bits. We can also check that out. Alright, so all the way down we've got 3 bolts on the fender on this side, and I believe the opposite side would be the same. Yeah, there's definitely some rust on this, so we can get these pieces of trim popped out as well. So let's just do that while we are here. Alright, those trim pieces are off of that fender. Let's go and grab the other one. Alright, let's check this out. We've got 3 bolts on this side as well. Very straightforward. Alright, so let's grab the pieces of trim from this as well. I'm just going to put it somewhere as well where it's going to be safe. Alright, and we're going to need the pry tool. Alright, so let's pop these off. Alright, so that is all of the trim removed from this fender as well, so we are good to start working on that. Right, so I think let's start with this bash bar we've got going on here. Alright, so there's our first bumper guard, or well, not really the first one, but the one that we have on this truck now, which also came from Minty's old truck, the truck that he bought from us. Alright, and we're gonna undo the headlights just like this. The whole grille assembly is coming off, and that makes it a bit easier and quicker to strip down the car. Alright, so we're gonna remove the front bumper as well. Let's just grab this. Alright, and that's the front bumper. So we've got a license plate on this. Alright, so that is good. I almost thought for a second we didn't have a license plate at front. Okay, and then yeah, the rest of these parts can probably stay. We've got our radiator mounted to the core support over here, and these parts still look visually very good, so we're not going to bother with stripping that. Alright, but yes, I think now that we've made quite a bit of a mess here, we are going to probably jump into our pickup truck, because I want to go and get those parts for the Impala. Well, not for the Impala, for the Chevelle. And I'm getting a little bit confused with all these Chevrolet names, because we've got quite a couple of Chevys going on. Alright, so let's just put it over there, and we might as well just put it inside. It's going to be a bit safer there. Alright, perfect. Let's just close up there and jump into our pickup truck here. We need to get some gas as well. Mustn't forget about that. Alright, so let's get it fired up. Alright, so let's head over to the shop. We're going to buy the new parts and then we'll quickly swing past Steve's. I think Steve might actually be closed, but you can always leave the parts in his little area there and yeah, just give him a phone call afterwards and tell him what parts we dropped off. Alright, so let's make our way over to the shop. It's luckily not too far. It's not as close as Minty's was from Grandma's house back on the old island. But yes, we've got a couple of things to buy. And we'll just cut across the grass. There we go, no harm in that. Alright, super. We are here. So let me quickly pop in and see Mr. Lewis. I see his store is open. Alright, so we just need to get our frame rails, our axle, the 2 hubs, and obviously the brake discs. Yeah, that's about it. Alright, so let me quickly pop inside and we're going to get all of these parts. Alright, so I think we've got everything. We've got the 2 frame rails, which I did check. We needed those. We've got our new axle, 2 new hubs. We've got our leaf spring that we need to replace, the middle frame brace, handbrake cable, and I just got some new brake pads for good measure in case we need to swap those out as well. Alright, but now next up would be Steve's pawn shop. We're just going to drop off some parts over there and then we can quickly stop by the gas station for some gasoline and see if that car is going to fire up once we put everything back together. Alright, there we go. So I've quickly threw all of the old parts off the pickup truck over here. So we've got only our new parts, our new frame rails and stuff like that. So let's just hop down from here. And the next stop will quickly be the gas station, just for some gasoline. Alright, so we are here at the gas station. And as I pulled in, I actually noticed that they converted the space into like a parking garage. Well, not really a parking garage, but like a parking space for some customer vehicles of the shop. And yeah, there's also a nice big old truck parked here. I wonder whose truck this is. Must be one of the tenants, because I know Alex stays in the one place and the other place was still vacant. So I think maybe it's the new tenant that actually moved in, or maybe this truck belongs to somebody else. I don't know, we'll have to wait and see. I should actually try and canvas a bit and see if they don't need us to maybe work on this for them. It'll be a nice project, and this is a very custom thing. I actually built like a longer bed onto an extended cab here with the short frame. So it's like got a smaller rear load area, but it's also got a substantially big cab on the inside. So that's a first time I saw something like that. But okay, yeah, let's just focus on business at hand. We've got to get some gasoline. Alright, so let's fill this jerry can up. Alright, so we've got some gas and we are ready to head back to our shop. Let me just jump up into the truck here. And remember the glow plugs, and yeah, last stop back at the shop, and then we can start working on our 70 Chevelle again. Alrighty, and we are back. So I'm quite curious to see if this thing's going to fire up. So I just want to grab the gas can. We're going to open the gas filler cap here quickly and just chuck some gasoline in the tank. Alright, there we go. There we go. It's going in. Alright, and yeah, that should nearly be enough, hopefully, to get it fired up. Alright, so let's see. If we open up here, we're just going to lean in and turn the key. Alright, we've got a little bit of movement on the needle. And there we go. Alright, so she fires up. I don't have the exhaust yet. I actually forgot to buy the exhaust now, but that's fine. We don't really need to do the exhaust just yet because we're not going to be driving this car anytime soon. Obviously want to do the paint job and everything like that before we start using it. Alright, but I think we're going to start with frame rails. So let's bring the frame rails a bit closer, and then we'll also grab our other parts quickly. And last but not least, we've got our leaf spring, and yeah, that's everything. Alright, so let's put the leaf spring over on this side. We're going to mount it. And then we'll just take these two hubs out of the backpack, and there we go. Alright, so now we're gonna have to probably just weld the frame rails back in. So let's get them into position just like that, and we're gonna grab the welding machine. Let's grab the welder, and let's just weld these frame rails nicely into place. Alright, and yeah, I must say this welding machine is actually very it's a very surprising, because I haven't changed the gas bottle on this thing once since I got it. So we have done how many projects now, and yeah, I've been welding, and yeah, things just, it doesn't seem to get finished. I mean, it's like it's just keeps going. Yeah, I don't know. I actually bought the second canister and it's still standing over there. Right, but yes, we need to also weld in this part before I forget. Alright, so that's where the shock absorbers mount to. So let's just grab the welding once again. Just gonna weld it up over there and over there. Alright, and then we're gonna need our wrench in the toolbox. Let's quickly assemble this. Where did the wrench go? Did I put it somewhere else? Oh, there it is. Okay. Alright, never mind. I forgot I took it out already. Alright, let's bolt down this differential. Alright. Usually the handbrake cables makes it a bit hard to mount the axle to the vehicle, so we'll see if that's going to work. Come on, where's this bolt? There it is. Alright. Alright, so there's nothing for us to mount that to yet, so let's get the leaf springs in. Quite nice and easy, very simple. Just bolt those two back in, and let's grab this and bolt it down there. Alright, let's get our hub. Alright, hub goes into there. Alright, perfect, that's the hub. Let's grab the other hub. Alright, hub. And this thing is just jumping around, swinging around a bit. There's the last one. Alright, let's see if this one's to go in with the handbrake cable attached. Maybe we are lucky, which we are. Alright, perfect. Let's zip it down over there. And we'll just come over here on drive shaft as well. Tighten those up. Alright, there it is. And these four over here. Alright, very well. Let's get our shock absorbers in. Oh, come on. There we go. Alright. And the other one. Zip it down there. And then we're just quickly going to pop out the brake pads before we mount those. Because I wasn't sure, because I didn't check these beforehand. So let's just see if they are also new, which they are. So that means we've got rear brake pads for the next project vehicle. Let's just check these ones as well. Yeah, they are still good. Still brand new. I don't think this car ever drove with these calipers. So yeah, there's two things I actually forgot. Oh my goodness. Alright, so yeah. Alright, I'm gonna have to run to the shop again. But I think I'm just gonna grab the 69 Impala quickly for that. Alright, and we are back. So yeah, I guess you can say that I forgot the brake discs, which is yeah, a very vital, important piece of the puzzle that we need over here. Alright, so let's try this again. We've got our two brake discs in our backpack. We'll just get them fitted over there and also over there. And then we're going to need our screwdriver, which is probably still in the toolbox over here. Alright, and come on. There we go. Alright, we need to zip those down. Alright, and over there. And now we should be able to get the brake calipers on. Now that we've got our brake discs mounted. Alright, rear left. That is good. Let's mount it over there. And that is nice and tight. And let's grab this one. Alright, let's bolt it down over there and there. And that is it. Let's quickly grab the two wheels. Alright, and bolt it down. Perfect. And then I'll grab this one as well. Alright, perfect. And just lower it back down. Perfect. We've got this thing on its suspension, or all four wheels again. So this actually ended up being quite a bit of a work for this episode. It's a little bit longer than usual, what I've been recording. So we are gonna see if this thing fires up once more, which it does, and it's gonna be a little bit loud, but I do want to move it. Alright, well, so there we are. We've got our 70 Chevelle up and running, although it doesn't look like much just yet. There's definitely a paint job to be done on this thing, as well as interior. But I think it's slowly but surely getting there. We are making good progress on this thing. And obviously, as you can see, we have dismantled our whole Ram truck. So we're going to have to try and figure something out over the weekend with this. I might do a little bit of sandblasting and maybe some primer work on this car, as well as the cab. If we can get that primed up, then maybe by next week we could probably get a layer of paint on this thing. I just noticed I forgot to take the small windows out, but that's fine. I will do that off camera. And yeah, we are definitely going to sort through all of these parts and see which ones are good, which ones we definitely need to replace. So there's gonna definitely be some changes. I might send some of these parts over that are still good into our storage barn, so that we can keep them around for future projects, or maybe if ever somebody needs the parts, then we've got it laying around at least. But yes, I think that is going to be a wrap for this episode. So thank you very much for watching. I do appreciate every view, every like. And also, if you have not yet subscribed to the channel, please consider doing so. I will appreciate it very much. But yes, until the next time, cheerio.